right now. Pittsburgh's best sports show is about to begin. Call us or tweet us. We've got things to talk about on the Ireland Contracting Nightly Sports Call.
Good evening, everyone. Welcome inside the Fan Cave. This is the Ireland Contracting Nightly Sports Call. And, man, we have a lot to get into tonight at 412-575-2600. Bob Pompeani here, and Drew Filipponi up at 93.7 The Fan on a night where we saw a classic pitcher's duel. And, man, Jared Jones got stronger, better, I thought more efficient as the game went on. Third time through the Dodger lineup, and they still couldn't figure him out. Tyler Glasnow was also matching him, with the exception of one pitch. And it's funny how stories go, Andrew. We see Henry Davis called up, didn't expect to see Jack Sawinski, but on a day where both Ji-Hwan Bae goes on an injured list and Michael Taylor goes on a paternity leave, they need someone to play center field. It's Jack Sawinski. They didn't plan on bringing him up. He comes up and he hits the game-winning home run. But what a pitcher's game tonight.
That's the way the Pirates drew it up when they established this roster this year. You know, you have a home run or one run and it holds up because you have great young starting pitching with Skeens and Jones. And then your bullpen, your late game bullpen, is supposed to be one of the best in baseball. Now, it has not been, but they did get the final 9 outs in this game despite many close calls, including that near home run to the notch with 2 outs in the 9th inning off Bednar, and a ball that Aroldis Chapman was convinced was a home run, so much so he spiked his glove like he was Rob Gronkowski celebrating a touchdown, Bob. So the bullpen got it done. They were not great. They hit him where the fielders were, I would say, atom balls. And Jared Jones was the story of this game against his former team to shut down that lineup with 2 MVPs, Betts and Ohtani, obviously, who struck out twice, including that 102-mile-per-hour pitch. What a treat that was for fans, and that's playoff baseball. That's how you do it, Bob, with those great pitchers. If you can get there, right, that's the way you win in October.
Absolutely, and that's the whole goal, even if it's a wild card, because now it's 2 or 3, and if you see those 2 guys followed by Keller or Falter the way he's going, that's a pretty good quartet of guys. But, you know, as this game went on, I tweeted in the 6th inning, I thought Jones should have come out for one more inning. I know he was at 100 pitches, but my reservations about the bullpen, specifically Chapman, because lately, you know, he leads the National League in walks per 9 innings. He's been wild. He was wild a little bit tonight, and he thought he gave up that home run. And I'm telling you, I was over there. The wind was moving in a little bit. That may have been the saving grace. I trusted Jones because it was the bottom of the order in the 7th. I thought I could have gotten one more inning out of him. As it turned out, it was fine, but you're right. It was very close calls.
Well, they had him at 100 pitches, and they're going to be so careful with him, even though he was on a lot of rest, because the last time he pitched was Wednesday in Detroit as the first game of that doubleheader. And I think Jones knew that the 6th inning was his last inning, and that's why he was able to dial it up and get those strikeouts and bring the extra heat in the 6th inning. It was not just from an emotional standpoint. I mean, to grow up a Dodgers fan, to shut them down like that, this has got to be one of the best nights of Jared Jones' life, actually. But beyond that, Bob, it's just him righting the ship. They put up a stat before the broadcast tonight that I think in his last 4 starts, his ERA was over 5.
Yep.
So he needed to get back to the Jared Jones of March and April, and he was absolutely able to do that tonight. We don't want to see him go the way of Tyler Glasnow here. Okay, Glasnow is elite when he pitches, when he's healthy, but he only discovered that with another team. It's time the Pirates produce their own star pitchers, and Jared Jones is looking more and more like one of those guys.
Yeah, and I just love his moxie, his confidence. He has the same sort of approach that Paul Skeens
And he
does.
came out to Natasha Bedingfield. That was his warm-up song.
Yeah, I like that.
I didn't know that got guys fired up. That's more of a soft jam.
Well,
Bob,
you know,
it's more of a relaxing jam.
But maybe that's him. He's just a laid-back kind of guy, but he does know how to gear it up when he has to, and boy, he did later in that game tonight. So that's a big win for the Pirates to try to follow it up with Skeens tomorrow night. And then they bring on Falter, who has the best ERA of any starter on their staff. That's on Thursday. We have a lot to get into. Call us at 412-575-2600. We'll also get into Cam Hayward, who showed up today. And interesting what he wants. He's not backed down from what his demands are in terms of a new contract and what he expects. you know, we'll get into that and what it meant for him to be there today. When I first heard that news, I thought it meant that maybe there was a breakthrough, but we'll get into it after the break here, Andrew. Call us with your opinions. We're live tonight on KDKA+. It's the Ireland Contracting Nightly Sports Call. Our GMC Sierra tweet of the night comes from Codify Baseball. How about this? The fastest pitches thrown by MLB starters this year. That's the entire majors. All you'll see are Skeens and Jones and Jones and Skeens and Skeens and Jones, all the way down. Just a couple of 22-year-old Pirate pitchers, and they have been elite in hitting that gun. Now, there's some relievers who did it. We saw Chapman do it tonight. But, man, what a 1-2 punch, Andrew. This is all the reason more to me why they have to be active in trying to help this offense.
Well, Ben Cherington said the improvements are going to come from within. He said internal improvements. I did not like that answer.
No, if it's Davis and Sawinski, then they better do it and do it, you know, quickly. We saw Sawinski tonight, but, you know, bottom line is they can go out and make deals. They can make it a better team if they start even now before a trade deadline. These pitchers, if they are as elite as we think they are in a short series, man, you can pull off a lot of wins. I'd be great to see them in the postseason.
I agree. I think there's guys out there who are not going to cost a lot in a trade who would make this team a lot better. Josh Bell is one of them. I think he's just dying to get traded out of Miami. There's no way he's on that roster in August. And he would be a guy that, as a switch hitter, he would hit from the left side and would give your lineup a lot more thump, so much more than Rowdy Tellez. He'd look like Willie Stargell compared to Rowdy Tellez at first base. I don't care what the guy did in Toronto on a Sunday afternoon. And the other guy I like as a Marlon Byrd type, Bob, is Tommy Pham in Chicago, who signed there very cheaply.
The guy was going to get into a brawl with Contreras the other day in Milwaukee.
He's ready to throw down, and he said, I train in the offseason to beat people up. And he looked like it, and look at his batting average and OPS. That guy is a hitter. He was back in St. Louis when the Pirates had several run-ins with him several years ago. I think he would be a big upgrade over what they have in their outfield right now, and I don't think either one of those guys would take a lot to acquire. So circle those names, Pham and Bell, for the Pirates here at the deadline.
All right, we'll get into Cam Hayward, as I said, in a bit, but we have a lot of Pirate callers, so let's get to them. Rob in the Hill District is our #1 Cochrane Go One Better caller of the night. Rob, good to see you today.
Hey, Bob, I just seen you downtown today and took a picture with you. But this is what I want to say. Now, y'all took my thunder. The Pirates, they need to get it back. You can't count on Sawinski and Davis. They need to get it back. I don't care about Tamara Johnson. If they trying to give us Vladimir Guerrero Jr. from Toronto for Tamara Johnson and Quinn Peaster and whoever, you get that back, and we win the World Series. What you think?
Preach, baby, preach. I've been saying that, and I don't care about those prospects. There are some in there that you obviously want to keep here if you can, but if not, you use them to acquire something. You know, listen, this team hasn't won a playoff series since 1979. Okay? I think it's time, if you sense that this is a mediocre National League where the wild card, the third one, may be a 500 or sub-500 team, and you could be that team knowing what you have in your starting rotation, Andrew, I think it's incumbent upon them to do something.
Don't disagree with that. The problem with what our buddy Rob, you took a picture with Rob tonight. That's interesting.
Yes, I did.
Was that down at the ballpark? Was that at the game?
It was earlier. I was walking to get a cup of coffee, and I saw him, and he came. He yelled my name and brought out the camera, and we did it. It was good. He's a regular caller.
Okay, well, great. That's tremendous stuff. Look, I don't think Johnson's getting you a big-time player. I mean, he's been one of the biggest disappointments in all of minor league baseball this year. He started the season as like a top 30 prospect, and he has just spiraled, plummeted down lists, because he has not been able to hit. He has not hit at all. No power, very low batting average.
But he gets on base.
And so I don't think – well, who are you now, Billy Bean? Now we're going to walk our way from –
Listen, but what you're saying is exactly why I would trade guys like that before. Now, you can judge them on their minor league stats, but they also haven't been to the majors yet. Maybe there's some team
I hear
out there
you.
that
I'm just saying he's not as valuable now as he was before the season started, when he was looked upon as a great contact hitter. He's not making contact, Bob. He's making weak contact against low minors pitching.
That doesn't mean he can't change it. He still is a blue chip prospect by those who, look at baseball. And if that's what it would take, I use him as an example, but it could be Bubba Chandler. It could be somebody else. If you believe you can bring in somebody who can make a difference and get you over the hump, then I think you do it. That's one of the reasons why you acquire assets.
Yep. I agree with you on that.
All right, Cam Hayward, real quick. I want to ask you about what you thought of him showing up. You know, he's been there a lot. He's a captain, and I like his approach. He said he's going to be there. He took part in drills today. He's going to be there at training camp. He's not going to hold in, hold out, whatever. He'll be there. I wonder what this means. Can you read between the lines? Because to me, it sounds like maybe there's been some progress in coming to some sort of an agreement.
He said no progress. He said no progress, and I believe him.
Okay.
I believe him in this sense. I think he would have said. I think he showed up there thinking that would help him in his negotiations now. The same way Watt going to training camp, Deontay Johnson being there, that actually holdouts haven't really been effective with the Steelers. It's been more of show up and then negotiate while you're a part of activities and practices. So I think he's trying to win them with honey and not vinegar. That's my take with what he said. But, Bob, also what he laid out as far as his career outlook, wanting to play 3 more years, that means he's looking for a 2-year extension. That means he wants to be paid like a top 5 defensive tackle. That's what he said he is for age 36 and 37. And he also said today, if I heard him right, he's not looking to give a discount. I heard him say discount. I heard him bring up discount, and not I'll take a team discount. Quite the opposite. I don't see this getting done unless the owner steps in and says, what the heck, or the coach and says, I love this guy, and maybe their heart dictates what they do more than their head. He's a fine player, and he's one of the best in Steelers history, and he's an all-time good dude. But, you know, paying him $25 million thereabouts a year, 2 more years beyond this one, I just don't think that's very smart, Bob. I think that's too big of a risk.
And even, you know, if he had one of the seasons he had early in his 30s, 31, 32, he had a streak of 6 straight years of making the Pro Bowl. Last year was not a good year, mostly because it was affected by injury. So he's not necessarily talking to you from a position of strength. Although, if you believe that he can overcome that, that's going to be what it takes, and we'll see how that goes.
Well, didn't you think today when he brought up how hurt he was last year and the sacrifices he made to get back on the field?
He was sending a message that way, yes. I agree with that.
I thought the same thing, like, hey, I sacrificed myself. I gave up. I could have packed it in. Instead, I did everything I could to help this team. You should reward me for that behavior. Yeah. That's what I thought that meant.
I thought that was, you know, that's how he feels, and I get that. So this is a business-oriented team, too, and we'll find out what happens. There's still time to get something done. We'll see, and it'll be very interesting at training camp. Back to the lines. We got Jerry and Franklin on line 1. Hey, Jerry, how are you?
Hey, Bob. Hey, Andrew. Thanks for taking my call.
Sure.
A couple of things. I've watched the Pirates for about 60 years, and, boy, this sure is nice having 4 quality starters. And I know things can change in an instant, but, boy, this is beautiful. Second thing, we're always on the manager all the time about the moves he makes that haven't gone right. But this deal with McCutcheon, it seems like taking him out of the field and giving him the rest he needs. His bat seems really quick again, and I wouldn't be opposed if he can still hit this way down the stretch, bring him back for another year. We don't seem to have any outfielders down in the minors to speak of, so it'd be kind of neat to see him here one more year.
Well, listen, I agree with your bat coming to life thing. That's true. But I think another year, it's a DH position, one that they need more power in this lineup. If I could search around free agency and come up with someone else who can do that for me, I think I would. You know, but yeah, he's been much better of late. And you know, when I first saw it that he was going to be a leadoff hitter, I didn't think that was the right choice. But the more I see it, Andrew, the more I think it's the right choice for now.
I agree. He got off to a very slow start. He was coming back from that Achilles injury. I thought he might be shot. And he's proving why he is a really good player and why, now that we have the DH, players of his caliber at that age can still excel. It's interesting, did Tucupita Marcano have the under in tonight's game? My guess is he did not.
No.
Based on his horrible betting record, he was 0 for 25 betting Pirates games.
Oh, my.
He was anticipating more runs in this game tonight.
Well, I wonder what the over and under is going to be tomorrow because, you know, Paxton's a good pitcher. He's 5-0, but he's not a strikeout pitcher. He's been giving up little hits, little base runners. But again, I think runs are going to be at a premium, and I would expect the Dodgers to really find out that they're going to have another night where they're not going to get a whole bunch of runs, at least, you know, based on what Skeens is capable of doing. So what do you think the over and under would be tomorrow, and what would you do with it? I imagine it's going to be like 5, right? 4, 5, whatever.
Oh, I think it'll be higher than that because you got bullpens that take over. Yeah, I think it'll probably be like 7.5, something like that.
And you would
I would
do
be
what?
inclined to actually. I would take the over tomorrow. Actually, I think Skeens will be fine. I think the Pirates can make inroads against Paxton, and I'm just not confident, even despite what we watched tonight, that when Skeens hands the ball over for the last 9 outs or something like that, that this Pirates bullpen is going to be able to get the job done, especially if you were to ask Chapman to come back on back-to-back days. Same thing with Holderman and Bednar, who, Bob, they didn't look great. I mean, they didn't look sharp. They got outs.
No.
They got out of it,
but they were
did
a lot
not
of them
like
to the wall. And again, I mean,
right.
There were pitches when I saw them leave the bat, I thought there were 3 of them were home runs. So, and so did Chapman. That's not a good sign. That's one of the reasons why I wanted to see one more inning of Jared Jones. We're due for a break. We'll come back with more right here on KDK Plus. It's the Ireland Contracting Nightly Sports Call. Ken Rice manning the anchor desk. A preview right now with what's coming up at 11.
Hey, Bob, tonight we're following breaking news, an hours-long police search coming to an end. Plus, what we're learning about a massive fire at a downtown homeless shelter. And tomorrow is another KDKA First Alert Weather Day. We'll show you what Ray Petlin is expecting, all coming up in minutes. See you at 11, Bob.
All right, Ken, thanks very much. Jim in Peters Township, make it quick, please. You'll be our last caller tonight.
Okay. You know, Skeens will win tomorrow, and you guys will be talking about football. 24th. This is not a baseball town.
Yeah, it is. I think if you put on a good product, it is.
24,000, Bob, and it's what if. Pitching, good pitching stops good hitting. I remember seeing Koufax and Drysdale Pirates beating them 1965, Twine-Hair. I was there. I was 13.
All right. Well, hey, listen, all I'm saying to you is they put a good product. People will come out and support it. I think we saw that back in 13, 14, and 15. Pittsburgh Pirate Guru, by the way, put on Twitter, it's 8.5 tomorrow, Andrew. So did that change your mind at all?
Okay.
Would you go under still or over?
No, I still probably take the over. Bob, I like in the NBA Finals the Mavericks, and I think that the Panthers will win. Even though I'm rooting for the Oilers, I love their fans. They got some rowdy female fans that really get into it.
I know what you're talking about. But
no, you don't, Bob.
Yes, I do. I saw it. Anyway, I like the Mavericks because I don't think Boston's been tested enough. I've been saying that for the last several nights, and we're out of time, Andrew. We're done. We'll see you again
Bob.
this weekend. Have a good night. Back here tomorrow at 10:35. Have a good one.